Veterans Memorial Park construction status and soil status. So, Mr. Lawson took his own time, took some soil to JMD on his own time with his own costs to get a, status of the soil and what minerals and vitamins would be needed, materials to improve the soil at the Veterans Park. He gave everybody a package of materials, get late, and I'm not sure if Bobby, you got it into everybody's package? Yes, okay, well, then just,
Yes,
yes.
I got a package are laying at the table for those who picked their packets up yesterday.
Yes, I see it right here. So I'd like to throw this over to Rick to discuss.
As Chair Lady has said, I took samples up there. JMD got bought out. I don't even know what the new company is, but anyhow, their recommendation, they're recommending about $1,320 worth of fertilizer, Nutrilime, and Jumpstart per acre. If we would do the ball field, as per Sean, we got 7,500 square feet, that's 1.73 acres, it's $2,300. If we do the area outside of it, the slopes in that, it's another $1,940. It's approximately $4,220 to do it all. My thoughts were, if we bought this, Plavchak would have to reseed the field, not just apply the material. I'm saying he should rework the soil and then apply this material to help us get a start for the grass next spring. Again, I talked to Scarmazzi. They would sell us topsoil for $1 a yard, which is very reasonable. If he needs topsoil, he can go up there and get it. Or if the board wants the township trucks to haul down there. But this would have to be an agreement, my thinking, an agreement, he would have to apply it free, redo it the proper way, and he's gotta man that field when he comes back 40 hours a week. That's my understanding from Sean. He just came back a day or two. I mean, we've got to pin him down. There's also a problem with the batting cages. They're having an interpretation problem. To me, it's pretty clear it's in the drawings, what we should get. He doesn't want to do it. I say it's time to quit asking. We should tell him it on email, and we have to get Gary and Mr. Sweat involved in it. It's a contract. Let's not pick and choose what we want. We've got to get firm with this guy. So if we bring him back, he's got to agree to do this if we buy it, or if you guys want him to buy it, and he's got to man the field. But either way, he's got to man the field and get this job done. If we don't do this, we got to hope that the grass grows. I think this is just a little extra insurance. I myself, it's probably about $1,000 more than I thought it would be, but I still would like to do it, as long as he reworked the soil, not just go out there and throw this stuff on it.
I spoke with Mr. Plavchak today after I spoke with you about the report, and just to kind of gauge his temperature on these ideas. He seemed willing. Yeah, I told him that I thought the township would bring the topsoil to him to rework, but he volunteered to use his truck to help get topsoil too if need be, and he seemed willing to take the assistance. He said that, in his opinion, the right side of the field, that'd be the first baseline, the area with a lot of the crabgrass. He thought the topsoil was all right there, but it did need work and reseeded. And then he was thinking the left field from second base to third base, that area needs a lot of the work and the additional topsoil. And he mentioned aerating it and going in there and trying to scarify it too before reseeding and fertilizing again. But I agree with you. We need to get them back out there full time. So far, it's just been a couple of guys working from what I've seen, and you know, it'd be nice to see a full crew and getting it done. He mentioned that he was not there the last couple of weeks while the trees were felled. He wanted to be away during that process, but now that all the tree work is done, that the road crew took care of, he's back out there.
Sean, do you think that Mr. Plavchak is willing, if the board considered buying these materials, would he be willing to work to reseed this and care for the?
That's the impression I got from him. I think what would be really beneficial is if two board members would just be able to come out, meet with him, talk to him, and just so everyone's on the same page moving forward. I'd love for the whole board to come out, but that's just not a.
No, that's not an option.
It's not an option.
So question, Mr. Lawson, that you mentioned topsoil. In this price here, I see $44,220.71. That does or does not include topsoil?
No.
Okay.
Any topsoil you need would be $1 a cubic yard. Your tractor's gonna haul 12, 15 yards. So we would owe that to Scarmazzi. Scarmazzi did offer it to us free, and I thought that would be a problem. I says, I don't think you should give it to us free, unless Gary thought it'd be okay. I can see.
I don't think, me personally, I don't want to muddy any waters. I think that this would, if the board considered this would be generous offer to the contractor, considering all the problems we've had. I would like the contractor to figure out the topsoil end of it, if the board is considering this purchase of materials. That's my opinion. I don't wanna put the full weight of fixing this whole problem on the board.
Only thing I could add, if he hauled 500 yards over there, would be a lot. 800 would be max. I mean, we'd have an $800 bill. That's what's wrong over there. There's no topsoil. It does need the topsoil. I wouldn't cut it for $800. I mean, you're looking at $5,000. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money when he should be doing it, but this guy doesn't produce. We could let it go, hope we get seed next spring. If it doesn't grow, we gotta reseed it next spring, and you won't play again on it, till the following year. This will give us probably I don't know, 3 or 4 month jump. Possibly in the fall, we might be able to play on that field if it takes good in the spring.
Sean, the existing plan of Plavchak's seeding, is it is this Kentucky bluegrass?
I need to take a look to see whether it's a fescue or a bluegrass. I think it's maybe a 90% bluegrass, 10% fescue.
So he's planning on seeding this month, end of September rather, right?
Yeah, he had mentioned end of August, September, kind of judging it based off the weather patterns.
Included in his seeding, is there any boost fertilizer or anything in there that would help it?
There's fertilizer, but what there isn't is what was written down on Rick's sheet as far as jumpstart. Plavchak did a soil test that he sent to me after I got off the phone with him that he ran through a Penn State supplier, and you know it didn't even mention the need for lime. He said he included some lime when he put it down, but guess what I'm saying is the test report of what he tested before versus our new test kind of show the soil that's there is a little bit different than probably what was tested originally. I think maybe some subgrade got picked up with it, especially with what I saw as far as the iron content that I believe this shows. Shows an ideal range between 7 to 20, and iron content that was tested was 81. So
I mean, it definitely looked like it needed some topsoil, but this is probably a better question for you. I don't know about. The fertilizer and the Nutrilon, does that go on
So I was trying to, I haven't heard of this particular fertilizer. And one of my concerns was is if this isn't organic, that person's gonna need an applicator's license. And that is a risk factor. So I was trying to look it up and see if Jumpstart isn't organic, because if not, he's gonna need an applicator's license to spray a chemical on ball field.
I put that on, I don't have any license, it's illegal. JMD says it's not all of it.
Well, you're allowed to put it on your own. I'm saying if he applies this to someone else's property,
That's
particularly.
all I would.
It looks like it is got organic, and it may be all organic. I just hadn't heard about that particular.
This is JMD's recommendations of the type, that's all I can say. I also think if he agrees to it, Horstman has to police this every load he mixes. You gotta measure it, make sure it's counted right. That's a small hydro seeder, it's 300 gallons.
I personally would like to see it done, I mean, nothing's more disappointing than putting grass seed out, watering it, and it not growing. You know, I think that's, we're washing away or something, like what's happened in the past. I don't know, I'd like to see it, get it done.
He's doing it as the spec says on the drawing, though, that's the problem.
I also, me and Sean had a talk about the brown circles on the part. I would check, I think one of his pieces of equipment is leaking some sort of gas or fuel or something, where those random big and small circles in particular areas. Appears that either his hydro seeder or one of his equipment are leaking where it's sitting and creating those brown circles you see on the field. That was my only guess, because it's like they're a reddish brown circle. And to me, it looked like some sort of chemical. So, I think that's some of the, that may, I don't know where you're at, where you're not, but that may have to be remediated if there is diesel sitting in there.
He already agreed to take it, I mean, to use the thing, I don't know, you know, the thing.
Yeah, he mentioned an aerator to help, kind of add some more texture to it, so the grass bites more, also get some air in the soil, and scarify.
It's just like golf courses.
Myself, I have a problem with that. Punching holes in it, it's junk, it's up there. It needs all turned over. The 4 inches of topsoil needs, when I say rework, not rake the top, it needs turned over, all turned over, reworked, manicured, then seeded. That's what he should be doing. Punching holes in it, it's a help, I think we're throwing $5,000 away.
Right, and that's why, if you guys do end up approving this and moving forward with it, with your list of conditions of what you want to see agreed to before.
He has an obligation to give us a green field too.
Right. But most definitely, so, I think it'd be great if, two of you would meet with him, and me, and we could just really hash out, come up with a plan that, we seem to be happy with out there.
I think you and Terry ought to write something up, and that ought to be the new agreement, myself. That's just me.
So the
So
only,
I'm happy to meet with you, I mean, we get something figured out,
Count me out.
gonna work out.
so I want to just clear up I am thinking this is the only option to get grass for the kids. My only concern is the topsoil. I really think we should draw the line on bringing topsoil in. And I don't know if Mr. Plavchak, how he will feel about that.
He said he would go get it, it's just a fucking yard. Ask him, how many I buy, it's $1 a yard.
Yeah, I don't think that would be a problem for him to go get it.
Okay, any more discussion on this item 10?
What would be the procedure? Sean and Terry work up something to give to Plavchak?
I think you meet with him first and then do a short addendum.
So, on to number 11, approve and I purchasing necessary materials to